Lost and Found, the true story of how I met Jesus, by Marilyn Young, illustrated by Paisley Schroeder. I first heard of Jesus through the Bible stories my dad would read to me every night when I was a little girl. Growing up with two brothers, I liked the action stories the best. You know, the stories with colorful pictures of plagues, ferocious lions, and a fish so big it could swallow a man whole. I heard of a battle won using only a trumpet, and how the birth of one baby meant that I would get presents when it wasn't even my birthday. I was told about how that baby was God's perfect son. When he grew up, he died on the cross to save people he didn't know, and even his best friends turned their back on him in his darkest hour. It was sad. I saw how much Jesus meant to my dad, and I believed, but I didn't really know what a savior was, or if I even needed one. As I grew older, I understood what it meant to have a savior, but by then, I didn't really want one. I wanted to fit in with other teenagers. I didn't want to stand out or tell anyone about Jesus. I pretended to be a Christian when I was with my family or at church, but I went behind my parents' back and would lie to do things that I knew were wrong. I thought doing good things for my parents' friends would make me look like a Christian, so they wouldn't see what I was really like with my friends. No one would know I was living a lie and lost in living a double life. One day, I was asked to babysit for a Christian family, and I agreed. After the children were asleep, I realized I had made a big mistake. I had brought nothing to entertain me while I had to wait for the parents. Oh boy, I thought to myself, this was going to be a long, boring night. So I searched for something to do. There was no TV, no good music to play. It was all Christian music. There were no magazines. I had no cell phone, iPod, Game Boy, tablet, puzzles, or adult coloring pages. Boring. However, there was one book on the coffee table. It was filled with short stories and lots of pictures. It was a Bible story book, like the one my dad would read to me when I was a little girl. I picked it up and started to flip through the pages until I got to a story I'd forgotten. It was a story about two brothers, Jacob and Esau, how one brother liked to cook and stay at home while the other brother liked to hunt. Esau, the hunter, was the firstborn son and would someday inherit all that his father had. That was his birthright. Being the second-born, Jacob would inherit nothing. One day Esau came home from hunting, and he was so hungry he thought he was going to die. He found Jacob at home cooking some porridge, and he demanded some. Now Jacob wasn't just going to give in to Esau's demand just because he was so hungry. He made a demand of his own. He told Esau he could have some porridge for a price. His birthright. Now think about that. Esau would be giving up his inheritance, all of the livestock, the land, the homes, and everything his father owned, just for a bowl of porridge. Esau didn't care much about his inheritance. It was worthless compared to his hunger. He agreed and grabbed the bowl from Jacob. At the end of the story, it said, "So Esau sold his birthright for a mess of porridge." I looked at those words for a moment, and it was then that I heard God's voice in my heart. He said, "Marilyn, is that what you are doing? Are you selling your birthright, the right to live and reign with me in heaven, for the mess the world has to offer?" His voice was not angry or judging. It was gentle and sad. I knew this was God, and He had found me. He knew exactly who I was. Nothing had to be hidden. My heart, my life, my lies were out in the open, and I felt relieved. He knew me, and yet He still wanted to call me His daughter. I felt His love for the first time, and that is when I knew what I wanted to do. All alone in that quiet living room, I knelt down by the couch and told God I was sorry for trading Him for the mess the world had to offer. I told Him I was sorry for pretending. I asked Him to come into my life and give me courage to live for Him. And He did. The end of one life and a new beginning.